Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to another video. This is Fishing Vlog number 179, and before I get into today's topic of what I've been doing for the last week in the fish room, I wanted to show you these guys. These are my Hatborlii. This is a breeding colony I have, and spring has definitely hit the fish room. As you can see, they're getting quite frisky. I am going to need to remove a few of the extra males to put them into clients' tanks and give them room to start breeding some more. So, as you can tell by the thumbnail, I have decided to declare war on duckweed in my fish room. This is not an important aquarium. This is just a tank where I store a lot of my extra Java moss, but as you can see, it is completely overgrown with duckweed. And this is not just one aquarium, but I mean, I was away for a while and I took a bit of a break, and duckweed just went rampant. I mean, in general, I spend more than half my time of maintenance just controlling duckweed. And I have often brought it down to like less than 1% in my fish room, where you can't hardly find anything. But it always managed to come back. So because I've had the break, and I'm spending a lot more time now in the fish room, and I'm getting back into making videos and all that sort of fun stuff, I thought what I'd do is actually try and completely eradicate it from my fish room. I mean, it's going to take a lot of attention to detail, make sure that I spend the time that needs to be spent on it, and make sure that I get rid of it all, because I figure just in the sheer saving of the amount of maintenance I do on this, it'll free up an awful lot of time where I can do more important things. And obviously duckweed has its benefits. There are nutritional and of course nitrate balancing aspects to it, but hornwort grows just as fast, and I'm pretty sure I can maintain healthy aquariums without duckweed in there. And like I said, I really just want to get rid of it. So as you can tell, I have spent a fair amount of time, pretty much about 15 to 20 minutes a day since the last video, just going along and removing as much duckweed as I can. And just like right now in these tanks here, it's just a little piece here, a little piece there, and hardly anything left, but I know it's still there. It's so hard to get rid of this stuff. But I'm going to keep at it. And I do have a few tanks, this one here and the next two over, that were always clear of duckweed, and I'm going to try and keep them that way. And the other thing I want to do is I need to get back to culling my fish. I do every now and then get a little lax on that, and I end up with some fish in there that are, well, the traits are not exactly desirable. And I want to get them out of there and put them into my cull tank where they'll go to clients' tanks. And yeah, I just need to keep on that and keep the colonies breeding properly. So one of the things that, I mean, this is one of the tanks that I've kept a fair amount of hornwort in. And this is the one I really have to be vigilant with, because you can see a couple specks there. And like I said, I got it down to less than 1% of what was in the fish room, but I want to get it down to 0. So we'll keep working on that and we'll see how it goes. I think I'll be able to manage it this time, because I am, for the first time, really adamant about getting rid of it. So as you can see, the tank's doing better now. I got them quite a bit cleaner. I've cleaned a few, obviously, filters, and also done a lot of water changes and getting things back to the way they need to be. This tank out here needs a bit more work. It was quite covered in duckweed, and I find when it gets that way, the tanks don't necessarily go anaerobic. Well, that filterless one did a little bit, but what it does is just prevents good turnover, and you end up with slightly cloudy water. I mean, this is a pleco breeding tank, so it does get heavily fed, but it can be cleared up. And like I said, that's my goal going forward for the next little while anyway, because I want to breed a lot more. Well, actually, I just want to do a lot more breeding. I do want to divide up and breed more colonies of guppies, because I do have a lot of requirements for them. This tank to the right has been cleaned out. Again, I'm trying to get rid of, well, these two here were quite overgrown with duckweed. And the hornwort was so sufficiently covered with it that I just threw that out as well. Again, not a big deal, because hornwort grows very quickly and I have plenty of it. And I can divide that up and restock these tanks with no issues whatsoever. So it's going to take probably a few weeks before I'm getting to the point where I'm possibly confident. I'll definitely keep you abreast of all this. There are probably about 8 to 10 aquariums in the fish room that need a lot more work anyway. The one on the right there is, I deliberately grow at least always one aquarium in my fish room with green water, and that's the current one. And I do tend to rotate them around a bit just so the fish, can have a break from it. These filters are almost ready to be used, and I have some stuff I want to do about those coming up, and I do want to get doing more filter builds. I have some ideas for box filters that are going to eliminate a lot of splashing without having to do the high humidity planters as well, because I want to, again, keep as many things going as possible. This is doing really, really well. And unfortunately, a part of it has decided to dip down into water and started rooting there. So I'm going to cut that off, and I'm going to plant it up in here, get rid of the onions, and do a bit more work on this. I have a very large colony now of, as you can see, white clouds in there, and I want to start breeding them. I haven't really decided to, I've bred white clouds, but I have never tried to breed them in numbers, and I'm going to give that a shot, see how that goes. Another thing that's been neglected are my, infusoria / microorganism jars. I don't know what's going on here at the moment. I decided to take a little bit of a picture of them because I wanted to see if there was actually anything moving around in there. As you can see, not a whole lot. But fortunately, it is spring now, so I can get out and get more stuff. And that's another thing I want to do too, of course. This is my next project. This row here at the top, I need to redo all this. They're not being presented properly. There's not really much going on in them at the moment. There's still 2 colonies of garden in here, but the far one on the left it just has an algae eater in there, and that's it. So I need to get to work on those and get them up and running and more functional as fish tanks in my fish room. These guys are doing really well. They're beginning to color up. I do need to get them into a larger aquarium. As you can see, they are growing this, but they are doing really well, so I'm very happy with them. And as you can see, I've got rid of the duckweed in here. It wasn't a whole lot because they're Mbuna. They like eating duckweed. And that's probably about the only thing that any fish in my fish room is going to miss is I have 2 large tanks of these guys, and I do dump in duckweed in there, and of course, they just eat it. They love this stuff, and I can put as much as I want in there. In a couple of days, it's all gone, but that's okay. They'll get along fine without it. These are the carbensis that spawned, and I noticed if you look in the bottom of the filter, there's a few in there. I need to take that apart and get them out of there. And yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. Leave comments, let me know what you think about what I'm doing, and I will see you in the next video, and bye for now.